What is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good Monday, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are on this big planet. I will be hanging out with you. This is going to be a short stream. I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for about 30 minutes. It's just going to be a short and sweet stream. I'm actually doing a supporter Q&A tonight, so if any fleet members are on or patrons are listening to my voice right now, that will be tonight around, I think 7 p.m. is what I'm shooting for. So 7 p.m. Eastern time, little supporter Q&A will go live, and we will be on here for a little bit hanging out. But welcome, guys. Hope everybody is doing well. Let's shoot the shit about whatever. It doesn't have to be just Star Wars. It can be anything. What's going on, Took? Good to see you, man. Happy Monday all. Hope everyone is well, right? But same sentiment, same sentiment. Hello there. I'm new to the channel. Welcome, Gumball Goof. Welcome, man. Sit back. It's always civil. It's always fun, these live streams. So I was trying to figure out, if you've been tuning in my live streams lately, I've been trying to figure out a time to play. Is my microphone louder than normal? It's registering like super loud. Let me turn it down a tad. Test. Is that better? Anyway, I'm thinking that I'll probably end up doing a KOTOR 2 stream on Wednesday, just because Wednesday is the day that my parents usually babysit my daughter. And I'll work on some videos in the morning, in the early afternoon, and then probably fire up a KOTOR stream, KOTOR 2 stream. Or maybe Empire at War. I haven't really decided. I think, honestly, I'm more in the mood for Empire at War. But, yeah, I'll figure it out at the minute before I start streaming. So, anyway. What's up, Josh? Good to see you, man. And Elijah. Hey, I just took a physics exam. If that's your thing, if that's what you're into, hell yeah. I don't have the brain for it. I appreciate more than anything the people who are able to figure out the world. I hope you scored well, man. I appreciate that, Caesar. So, yeah, you guys have probably noticed, but there hasn't been much like video activity lately. On the channel. I think I've uploaded like one video in the past 2 weeks or something like that, which oftentimes the channel goes through spurts. I actually have a sponsored video that I'm working on, which will be a lot of fun. I had a blast making it, so that took up a chunk of time, but also just kind of been taking a breather from YouTube, planning out some stuff, and then I will be refocusing like wholeheartedly back on making videos within the next week or so. So, thank you so much for opening my eyes to 4K 77. It was absolutely stunning. Loved it, and definitely how I'll watch Star Wars going forward. The coloring and scenes are just how I remember from as a kid with the VHS. Josh. Yeah, man. So if anybody, chances are you watched my latest video. It is about 4K 77. It's if you've heard me. If you watched my video, I apologize. I'm just going to briefly tell people about it because maybe they missed it. 4K 77 is a as authentic theatrical release can get. It is literally a 35 millimeter print of Star Wars that was released in 1977. I believe it was found in Spain, and they scanned that 35 millimeter print in at full 4K. They cleaned it up at 4K, and they rendered it at 4K. It is a theatrical release from a theatrical print of Star Wars from 1977 at 4K resolution that you can watch on your computer. And yeah. No, it would be completely pointless watching 4K 77 on a non-4K TV or a 4K monitor. I think it would be completely pointless. I don't have a 4K monitor. I do have a 4K TV down in the living room, but yeah, that's where I do my 4K 77 viewing. But no, I actually don't have those downloaded, Carter. Carter Lovejoy, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support of the stream, man. Hope you're doing well. YouTuber recommendation: Binging with Babish, cooking channel, and he's from my hometown, Rochester, New York. Nice. I'm vaguely familiar with Binging with Babish. I've actually seen I've seen a couple of his videos. I've seen him more though being interviewed by other people, other YouTubers. You know what I mean? I've seen him more on other people's shows than I've actually seen on his show. But no, I really like the style of his videos too. It's very reminiscent of, what is that guy's show? Alton Brown's cooking show that just actually came back. Show. What is that called? I'm sure he took inspiration. Good Eats, right? Is that what it's called? Good Eats? Where he kind of like the camera goes over him and whatnot. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, very reminiscent of that. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff, man. I like watching cooking shows, and I like watching food shows. There's some documentaries and stuff like that on Netflix. But yeah, Binging with Babish is definitely, yeah, I really like the style of his stuff. But yeah, hell yeah, Carter. I appreciate that. I have a 65-inch 4K Samsung TV. Yeah, I don't know, actually. Oh, I have a Vizio. I have a 60-inch 4K Vizio downstairs. But Gumball Goof, what would be your reaction if the original theatrical release for the OT would be released exclusively on Disney Plus with an option to select original releases or special editions for each OT film? That is all I want. Literally all I want, Gumball. Like, you know, it's my thing is the special editions, all the versions can exist at the same time, but all I want is an option. Exactly what you just said, right? An option to watch the theatrical cut, the original cut, before the special edition. That's really all that I want. It would be like, you know, when you pop in the Blade Runner Blu-ray or the Blade Runner, when you look at the Blade Runner Blu-ray box set that I have, it has like 5 different versions of Blade Runner, from the final cut to the director cut to the theatrical cut. It's just like, that's what I want. I want options, right? It's not that I don't want the special editions to not exist. I think that's where people get mistaken. I'm fine with those existing, but I just want an option to watch it the way that, you know, a lot of people remember watching it at a modern high resolution format, you know. But that's just me. I haven't seen any of the unfinished Clone Wars stuff. Yeah, I don't know anything about the unfinished episodes or any of that stuff. Unfortunately, I haven't looked into it whatsoever. I didn't know there were so many Blade Runner. Ooh, there's thunder. It's about to storm. Yeah, I don't know how many Blade Runner cuts there are, but my my Blu-ray set comes with, well, I can look it up. Let's see. I got it like 10 years ago. Let's see here. Blade Runner Blu-ray 5 disc. Okay, 5 disc. Yep, this is what I got. So, 5-disc complete collector's edition. Why did I need that? I don't know. So it was the 25th anniversary of Blade Runner. 5-disc complete collector's edition. It comes with the final cut, the definitive final cut, and one complete disc of bonus content, including over 80 minutes of never before seen. So, 3 versions of the film. So I think that what I'm reading is that there's 4 versions of the film in this 5-disc box set, which is crazy. It'd be nice to have something like that with Star Wars, right? But yeah. Ariel Navar, do you still play Postscriptum? And if so, is the player base still healthy? Yeah, that's one of the few games. I don't really play many games nowadays, but Postscriptum is one of the few games that I occasionally hop into. If I'm looking to play a multiplayer game, that's usually what I'm playing over the past few months. So yeah, I haven't played it in a couple weeks, but then again, I haven't really played anything in a couple weeks. So yeah, Postscriptum, man, is my type of first-person shooter. And yeah, every time that I've played, man, I have found that the player base is one of the best I've ever encountered in any game. And the reason behind that, I think, is, maybe it's different when they have a free weekend and anybody can jump into Postscriptum, and maybe it's not their type of game and people don't know how to play it. It's a different story, right? But whenever I get into a game, a server, and I join a team, a squad, 90% of the time, I find myself with people who are decent at communicating, with squad leaders that actually have a plan, with teammates who give a shit. It's not like that. That's why I think it's different. A game like this is going to cater towards players who want to, communicate and draw up strategy and actually, play as a cohesive unit. It's not like Call of Duty where it's just balls to the wall, everybody shooting everything, right? It's going to cater to a specific type of player. And I think that lends itself to having a healthy player base, because there are people like that who are so devoted to what this game is all about. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I've said this before, Postscriptum is not for everybody. Most people probably won't like it. It is my type of art or first-person shooter, though. But yeah, just because it is so, I don't know, so realistic, so hardcore, so difficult. Are you PC or console? And if console, what console? No, I primarily play on the PC, man. I have an Xbox One S, and I use it every single day.
Star Wars is so popular, but I can't think of other things that are the same genre. Star Trek is more hard sci-fi. Maybe Jupiter Ascending or Valerian, but those aren't wizards and knights in space.
Benjamin B, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that, man. Give me one sec. I didn't realize that T. Jones was after you, Ben, but I read it first. I apologize. So yeah, I'm primarily PC. I do most of my gaming. All of my multiplayer gaming on the PC. I use my Xbox every single day because my Roku doesn't work for whatever reason, so it's basically my media box. And then a couple times a week, I'll play Red Dead Redemption 2, which is the only game I've thrown into my Xbox in like a year. So, yeah, PC gamer with multiplayer, occasionally an Xbox player, but that's it. Benjamin B, thank you so much once again, man. Star Wars is so popular, but I can't think of other things that are the same genre. Star Trek is more hard sci-fi, maybe Jupiter Ascending or Valerian, but those aren't wizards and knights in space. I've never seen either of those. I remember seeing a trailer back, I don't know, this was like 6 years ago, right? When did Jupiter Ascending come out? Jupiter Ascending, 2015. Okay, so 5 years ago. I remember actually thinking that looked kind of fun. Jupiter Ascending actually kind of looked like I don't know, a relative of, shit, what is that movie called? Starts with an F. Bruce Willis sci-fi. What is that movie called? Fifth Element. The Fifth Element, yeah. I thought it looked kind of on par with that. And then I even went to a comic shop in 2015 just to look at some Star Wars comics and bullshit before dinner with my wife. And somebody was there as like a representative of whoever made Jupiter Ascending, handing out free tickets. And we got a ticket and a t-shirt. Never saw it. Never redeemed that ticket. I don't know what would be... I don't know what the equivalent would be. Maybe not even something in science fiction. Maybe something even like... Golly, it's really difficult. I don't know. What would be the equivalent of Star Wars? If you didn't think of it as a space adventure, what would be the equivalent? Maybe some people with a deeper knowledge of like anime would be able to find some similar things. Obviously, you got your Flash Gordon, but Flash Gordon I don't think really had any kind of Jedi Knight stuff. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, I mean, Star Trek and Star Wars, it's always been interesting to me. Like, I don't think it exists nowadays, but there used to be this big divide between fandoms. Never made sense to me. I mean, they are very different from one another. And as you said, Star Trek is definitely more hard sci-fi. Star Wars is kind of its own... I still call it science fiction because, you know, if you were going to go to Blockbuster and look for Star Wars, there's not a space fantasy category. It's like when people bitch and moan about people labeling it science fiction, it's as annoying as people who say it's not Star Wars, it's not A New Hope, it's called Star Wars. It's the same kind of annoying dumb shit. You know what I mean? But I really don't know what the equivalent would be. Like with something like X-Men, right? There are very similar parallels with Harry Potter. Harry Potter and X-Men are so similar. You got your gifted kids, you got your schools for those gifted kids, you got your leaders of those schools for those gifted kids. They all have their own individual talents and powers, and on a different scale, they're good at things and bad at things. And there's bad guys and good guys, and it's just, you know what I mean. X-Men and Harry Potter have always been so very similar to one another, but there's really not that. At least that I can, off the top of my head, think of that huge, easily comparable thing, you know. But, yeah. Levi says Dune. I don't really know anything about Dune, man. Levi, give me one sec. I appreciate that. There was also another... No, it wasn't Dune. It was an Arthur C. Clarke book that I've heard is very similar to Star Wars. There's an Empire, there's also that kind of thing. I can't remember what it's called. The something. The Arthur C. Clarke. The... Oh, maybe it's not Arthur C. Clarke. Maybe it's not Arthur C. Clarke. What am I thinking of? I thought it... Not the Sentinel. The Foundation? Is that the Foundation? Is that what it's called? No? Okay. Maybe it's not Arthur C. Clarke. No? The Foundation trilogy. Who wrote this? Oh, Asimov. That's right. I've heard there's parallels between it and Star Wars. That's just what I've heard. I don't know anything about it. I don't think I've ever read an Asimov book. But yeah, anyway. Give me one sec, Levi. But yeah, Ben, I appreciate that, man. And Admiral Akbar, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Admiral says, hey, how you doing today? Doing good, man. Yeah, this weekend was fun. We actually had some friends come over on Saturday night, and we were up super late. It was probably about 3-something. Nope. Yeah, it was about 3-something by the time we actually laid in bed. And then my daughter wakes up, and it's not fun feeling like You went to bed after having a bunch of drinks with some friends at 3 in the morning? With a toddler running around? So, but it was a fun weekend. Yesterday was probably the most lazy day we've ever had with a kid. We watched Toy Story 2. We were just like dragging ass. But it was fun, man. But yeah, today's gone smooth. It's storming right now outside. After this stream, I'm gonna go downstairs and work out a little bit, and then send off some stuff that I need to send off, non-Greedo related. And then tonight is actually the supporter Q&A. So if any fleet members or if anybody is a patron, you can tune into that. If you're a patron and you're a listener right now and you did not submit your questions yet, feel free to jump over there. But I'm planning on doing the supporter Q&A tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So anyway, Levi Fisher, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Levi says Dune comes to mind, although I've never actually read the whole thing. I got about a chapter in and was completely lost. Yeah, it seems like I own the book. It's one of those books that like I had ambitions to read, never read it. I even own the DVD, man. I remember going to Goodwill like maybe 10 years ago, or so. And I remember finding the Dune DVD at Goodwill for like $2. Bought it, never watched it, never saw it. In fact, I have a box downstairs in the garage that is ready to go to Goodwill, so it is going back to Goodwill. This poor Dune DVD was purchased 10 years ago from Goodwill, never popped into my DVD player, is going back to Goodwill 10 years later. Hopefully somebody will enjoy it. but yeah, it seems like one of those things, Levi, where if you... maybe it's a little daunting going into it because it is such a there's some huge fans of it. I'm sure people that have never seen Star Wars maybe look at Star Wars the same way. There's so much of it. It might be a little daunting at first to absorb. But yeah, it's something I've always wanted to give a read, Levi. I will probably end up seeing the new movie before I ever turn a page of the book, but yeah, anyway. Actually, let's see. Dune. Kindle. Let's see. How much is Dune on the old Kindle? $10. That's worth it. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I'll... I know nothing comparable to it except Lord of the Rings, says Arthur C. Clarke. Let's read these. An astonishing science fiction phenomenon. The Washington Post. One of the monuments of modern science fiction. Powerful, convincing, and most ingenious. I know nothing comparable to the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, man. But I should probably read it. Why not? Anyway. I appreciate that, Levi. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see Tenet eventually, Tom. We don't really go see very many movies nowadays. It's a little difficult with a kid. Yeah, eventually we will. For sure. Eventually we will. What are the advantages and disadvantages of 4K 77 project compared to Harmy's despecialized edition? Well, Jakeem, is that how you say it? I apologize, I'm dumb. But so with Harmy's despecialized edition, it was like taking Blu-ray and whatnot and trying to whittle it down and take a modern version and turn it into an original version. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm oversimplifying it there, but that's kind of what the best way I think I can describe it. I'm sure it's definitely an oversimplification. So Harmy's despecialized edition, it's awesome. It is a project passion of love, taking something and turning it back into, the attempting to bring it from modern to original. Now 4K 77 is actually an original 35 millimeter print of Star Wars that was scanned in. So it's like, and all they did was clean it up, like clean up the dust, clean up the rips in the film. They cleaned it up with software, But Harmy actually, the specialized edition, took modern versions and tried to bring it back to the original. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So, yeah. There we go. Tasty, tasty water. Which do you prefer, sequels or prequels, Caesar? I prefer the sequels. Now that being said, I like it's a little difficult because I like the Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith more than the Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, I mean, there's the movies that I like. The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, great. Some of my favorite Star Wars movies. But then you have The Rise of Skywalker in there, which is one of my least favorite Star Wars movies. So it's a little iffy, but I think overall, if I boiled it down, I'd probably say sequel trilogy. No, it's not weird at all. Raul, you like what you like, right? Caleb Kemp, thank you so much for the super chats and channel support back to back. Let's see. Okay, Caleb Kemp, hello there, General Kenobi. Hope you're doing well, man. Almost done with school for today. Phew. Now, that's a good feeling, right? Getting done with school, coming home, taking a load off, hanging out, doing what you want to do, maybe knocking out some homework, putting on some tunes in your ears. That's a good feeling. Caleb, if you're around tonight, I'm going to be doing the supporter Q&A is going to be at 7 p.m. tonight, Eastern time. So I will be on here ready to answer some Patreon questions. I think I have a pretty decent amount of Patreon questions. Let me log in here and see. Okay, where is loading super slow? Okay, so yeah, I have 11 Patreon questions tonight. And as always, we'll be hanging out in the chat too. So that'll be a good time. Awesome. So cool. So yeah, I'll see you there if you can. If not, I'll see you when I see you. But I appreciate that, Caleb. Sweet. So there you have it. 30 minutes of a 30-minute live stream. It is very rare for me to look over and it be 30 minutes. But, sounds good, Caleb. Hell yeah. I'll be at work at that time, but I'm writing my question right now. Perfect. I will save all the questions in a couple hours then and get ready to go out. I usually set my stream up, like, really, really early and just have both of my monitors ready and everything ready to go where all I have to click is start stream. Because it usually takes 10, 15 minutes to set everything up. I just want to get up here and go. You know what I mean? But yeah, who's your favorite MLB team? The Braves. Been a Braves fan since I was a kid. Used to live in Atlanta. I am really missing some baseball right now, man. Really missing it. But all right, guys. So that was 30 minutes of a 30-minute stream. If you are a supporter, if you're on Patreon, the supporter Q&A will be tonight at 7 p.m. Like I said, if you're not a supporter, you can still tune in and listen and just hang out. So. All right, everybody, if you supported the channel through Super Chats this afternoon, thank you so much, man. The channel survives because of you guys. If you just hung out in the chat or didn't say a damn word, I appreciate it all the same. So, have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and I will see you all tonight. Cool? Awesome. See ya!